What's up, people? One Nut Punch here. Take a look at some patch notes that came out today, November 22nd, 2023, for SCP-5K. And what they decided to do with this one is that they said a new major update for SCP-5K has been released. This is our final major update for 2023, emphasizing horror atmosphere in Area 12. A rework of the starting area layouts to better facilitate mission objectives and gameplay. We hope you enjoy. What they did is that they gave you a couple of new guns, the AS Val and the SR3M Vicar. Both of these look like SMG type of variants for guns, and I did try a couple of different attachments to them, like suppressors, red dot sights, cobras, PSO scopes, forward grips, lasers. You get the whole gist of it. Essentially, if you go find a workbench, you'll be able to go ahead and put whatever you need onto that gun. There are some guns that don't allow you to do it, like for example, some SMGs don't do the deeper types of scopes like the PSO scopes, but if you do have a battle rifle, you could put that on there for later. The other additions to the game that they added was a small knife, or a tactical knife as they call it, and they also added a thing called the pipe, and I had problems trying to get the pipe to come out. I had issues trying to equip it or trying to use it, and then they had issues trying to spawn the thing, but the knife, as you see here, kind of reminds me of a small pocket knife, and I'm hoping that changes because it does look really small and you do need it to use for like smashing screens or breaking glass. They also did some changes to the glass, the screens, and some of the other stuff in Area 12. There was also some issues with the game not producing the personal documentation, which is the tabs you would see, and they'd have the journal entries of the different classifications and level clearances of the different SCPs. So that was also fixed inside the game. Couple other things about the guns was they reworked the Tavor X95 and the M9 Beretta. They updated the model for the SA58, giving it better model and textures, looking a little bit more clean than what it was, and even giving a better sight picture when it comes down to aiming down with ADS. They added a jump animation to characters, updated storage PvP maps, and then, of course, earlier when I was saying with the missing documentation of Area 12, that was also fixed with this update. The main thing I want to talk about in this video was the new location that you start in. Normally when you play Area 12, they put you in a garage. It's pretty open. You have a bunch of cars and stuff everywhere. Some things that are exploded with flames. And it was pretty much easy to know where to go. You would go through a doorway, typed in a code, or you found something from a tablet. This time they put you in something called the Interrogation Cell. And this is a place to where, like, I guess the SCP Foundation would take maybe people that they deem like a threat, or they had a breach in containment, or something else, and you start off in a small office with all these dead people everywhere. You got a lot of these like small corridors and narrow hallways, and you have to figure out where to go, because on the left hand side it says find a way out. And personally, I tried to find a way out and I couldn't know where the hell to go. What I would do is I'd go through these small vents, and I would find double doors that would allow me to enter them. You can kick in double doors. That was another thing with this update, that you can kick in double doors, but I don't know what the melee button was for it. They say it's the thumb button on the mouse, and when I tried that, nothing happened, and I just go up and press the F key and the double doors would open up. So I don't know what's going on with that, but there are a lot of rooms that don't have like anything in it. There will be a couple of places that have like a gun with 1 or 2 magazines. You don't get full ammunition anymore. The other thing is the starting weapon in the game. Normally you have the 1911, or you have like a random gun pop up. This time they give you a melee weapon, which is the pipe or knife. And I think that's because of the new area and new atmosphere that they're trying to go for with this specific update. They did specifically say in the update notes that they wanted to make this more a horrific experience and like a dreadful atmosphere, as the SCP Foundation would be when you have all these Euclid and Keter anomalies running around everywhere, because they're all pretty much out. They all got breached out, and they're all going on a rampage and killing people. So you having this, one little pocket knife, you're not going to do very much. It's just a matter of getting the hell out and finding a couple of guns that have like maybe 1 or 2 bullets or 1 or 2 magazines in it that you could use to kill guards that will eventually pop up that are still alive. With the addition of the new area interrogation cells, they also reworked the 1262 SCP with 3 variants, improved animations, effects, and behavior. They're a lot different than what they were. For example, the resonators or the mud crab things. What they would do is they would normally like walk at you and then run away. This time they actually try to bite you. they will try and slash you with their tentacle or their like crab claw. Then you have the actual stone baby SCP will, if you go behind a double door, he'll actually kill you immediately because he thinks that you're not looking at him. And if you try and like get away from him far enough, like if you crouch behind maybe like another room instead of a small corridor or like a vent, he won't completely chase you. So if you're out of his line of sight, you won't really take damage from him. Then of course you have the Ford Educational Center. Deal with the screen anomaly. He has this thing to where he'll follow you around. Sometimes if you make a sound or shoot your gun off another area and then sprint into another room, he won't really chase you so much. They're definitely different with the whole changing the behavior of the SCPs themselves, but they're still annoying to deal with. Like again, still maybe having this idea that if you're going into a room just one room over and he kind of like sees you, he's just going to immediately teleport and kill you. Same thing with the whole double doors of that specific character. And then the screen anomaly will have, if you have one screen, he'll kill you faster now rather than just you get hit with the hallucination and then it just does a bunch of stuff. Your controls are out and then you die. This time is your controllers are kind of like messed up a little bit and then you just head pops. Another thing I forgot to mention was the whole running animation. Beforehand, it felt like you were jogging / running, kind of like your leg was broken or you got it shot. This time it does feel like a fluid, full-blown sprint. So I'm glad they actually changed that rather than feeling like your leg got almost completely blown off by a shotgun and that you're like running with your one leg while the other one is dragging behind you. There was one thing when it came down to a technical problem. Some players may experience performance issues on the most recent NVIDIA game drivers. If this happens, try switching to a studio or older driver version. This is with the trying to go into medium or high settings since the game is still in early access and it's not completely developed. This is a problem for people that have the game on ultra or high settings. I have this on low settings because I know it's an early access game and it's not like fully done yet. So I'm not really worried about that too much. Going down the list of some of the other things they talk about in the patch notes, for example, content, added new introductory area, which is again the interrogation cells you see here, add new D-class character models and updated design, reworked SCP-1262, which I talked about earlier, and then the zombies, which is the system is being built for adapting to future enemies, better timed attacks that are dodge-able and predictable, hit reactions, death animations for specific death scenarios, improved performance with large amounts, and more interesting and more varied animations, which they did talk about in an earlier dev stream of doing something for the zombies, like giving them in mutation, or being able to have different ones rather than the normal just SCP guards and maybe the big Zeds that have like the huge mouths. So this is basically plans that they made in an earlier date, now going into 2023 and 2024. So hopefully more stuff will happen. We'll probably see more SCPs other than just Stone Baby, the plant monster that shoots the giant rods, and the screen anomaly that just kills everybody. A couple things in the patch notes before the end of the video, and I want you guys to hear something in the end that they changed the main menu music, or what the main menu looks like, but some of the other things they did was updated the P90, 1014 LAMG, and VAL firing sounds, added occlusion to SCP-173B sounds, 1911 handling sounds, SA-58, and occlusion to some environmental sounds. But they did a bunch of fixes. They added some new visuals and some other things to Area 12. Like, for example, they were talking about doing some more things with the glass. Like, if you shoot glass, it'll show bullet holes. Sometimes it'll break and that you could actually go and mess around with it. Or, like, it'll have, like, crinkling sounds, or if you smack it, more pieces will fall. They also did the rework of a lot of weapon fire animations. They did some random jib selections for gore, and a couple other things as well. That being said, I've been one-nut punching this in another video. I wanted to show this off since it just came out today as of November 22nd, 2023. And I do like always going back and playing SCP-5K, checking out what new stuff they have. And now with the interrogation cells, that's pretty complicated to try to figure out where to go, even though a lot of the rooms are open with, nothing in it, and it's just a lot of clutter and debris and making it more like dark and horrific, trying to deal with all these anomalies running around that are going to kill you. It's a pretty nice atmosphere to be in, even though you have no gun and you have a little butter knife. And yeah, I've been One Nut Punch again. Thanks for watching as per usual. And this has been patch note 13 or 13.0 for SCP-5K. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later in the next one.